Yo, what is up, Madden Elite? Bradley here. We are live with another Wire. I am incredibly excited for this edition of The Wire. I'm always excited for The Wire, but it has been an eventful week since the last time we touched base. A lot of crap has gone down, and like straight up, I'm gonna be like for reals with you all. I am like incredibly excited right now for the league. Like I'm always excited, I'm always hype, right? Like I believe in this, like I believe in this to the moon. Like I've been in the CFM space for like a decade, right? And I have never been more excited and invested in a league than I am right now. I cannot wait to see where we go from this point. I say this though. I say this, and some people might scratch their head to this because I personally, in my Madden journey, have taken a pivot. I was Some people thought I was probably joking around on it, but I was kind of like in chat the other night, right? And I was all like, guys, I think I'm retiring. And like people thought I was like joking around and horsing around, but like legit, I have retired as an owner in Madden Elite. I am no longer an owner. I no longer run the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is good for the Buccaneers because they have a chance of winning now. They have a chance of winning. Instead, I will be focusing solely on the media within Madden Elite. Do not take my retirement as like uninvested or anything like that, because that's simply not the case. I am going to be busy with media stuff. I put out a highlight compilation of a game, and we'll see those highlights later in this edition of The Wire. But my goal is to put out stuff like that on a daily basis as we move forward. With me just slowly doing media, I'm going to be able to focus more on that. I also have some things in the pipes. I want to start like a weekly pick 'em. We kind of talked about something like that the other day in chat. I'm working on getting a template in place so that we can do that quick. And that's like if you want to do something successful, you need to be able to streamline it and do it smoothly. So I'm working on a template so that we can get a pick 'em project thing going. So that's in the pipes. With me stepping down though, we have been able to bring in a new owner, and also we replaced the Lions owner yesterday as well. So we have two new owners in the league here in season 3, week 14 of Madden Elite, and I'm incredibly excited to have both of these new owners in the league. Both of them bring a lot to the table. One, we have Gaming Powerhouse. Gaming Powerhouse is a Twitch partner as well, so we're excited to be working with him, getting him involved in the mix of everything. And furthermore, the other owner we were able to bring in was DBO. Since the moment DBO arrived on the scene here in Madden Elite, I have been wanting to get him in the league. And we finally got him in the league. Dude's in like 100 leagues. It's ridiculous. I was watching his game in his like stream chat as he was playing his game, which he absolutely obliterated his opponent. He obliterated, I think it was the 49ers that he played, but he just ran over them. Early in that game, things just like went off for him. Within a few moments, I think it was up like 21-0, and he just ran away with the game. That's all there is to it. DBO ran away with that game. Looking at DBO's situation though, like I said this in chat, and like it was kind of a controversial take. There were some people that didn't like my take on this. But we've been operating on a like first come first serve waiting list basis. I am lobbying for that to be done away with. we have, like, DBO should not have waited to get in the league. The first team that came open once he was on the list, he should have had that team. DBO is an active guy, does media crap. He's also involved in like the greater Madden community, I guess you would say. And like the truth of the matter is, like, I kind of like went off on this in chat. Like, I'll go off on it here right now too. Like, I don't care. No filter. Chuck, like, plug your fingers in yours and la 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 la. Don't listen, Chuck. Or you'll be fine. But like, there were people that got in the league while DBO, this gem of an owner, is waiting to get in. There are people who get in and like all they do is play their games, not invested in chat, not invested in the media, not invested in anything. They're just here to play games. I'm sorry, but we are not just a play your games league. We are striving to be the very best league that we can possibly be. And we are in a very blessed situation right now as a league. We have about 20 people on the waiting list. And like, that is not including the peeps that are just hanging out and waiting until they get a PS5. We are in a ridiculously good position, and all 20 of those guys, about all those like 20 people on the waiting list, they would not all be equal owners. Some of them, if they get in, they will just be people that are just here to play a game. And then other people, they are here to get in and invest and help us rise up, step up, and be more. Those are the guys we should get in. Those are the guys I want in. DBO is one of them guys, and I am incredibly excited to have him in the league. And like, we have that massive waiting list also to like put this in perspective, right? This is the first turnover we have had in 14 weeks. Last time we brought in new owners was in the transition from season 2 to season 3. So we have this massive waiting list and no spots. So when a spot comes open, we should be diligent to find the people that bring the absolute most to the table. And these two spots that came open with Gaming Powerhouse and DBO, we did just that. And I hope we do that every single time in the future when a spot comes open. We're not in a position where we have to just take anybody. Like when I post, like when in the past when I've posted on like recruiting servers, being like, hey, I'm looking for owners, I put a clause in there, I'm not looking for just anybody. And there have been plenty of people that have hit me up about the league. I've not even like responded to them. And there have been people that have hit me up, being like, yo, can I get in on that? And like, I was like, sorry, we're full, real big waiting list. But if something comes up in the future, I'll hit you up. Like, I didn't even make an effort to get them in on the waiting list because the waiting list is so crowded and we have so many amazing people on the waiting list that will bring so much to the league. Those are the guys we need to get in. That's my soapbox for today. Take it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is. On the topic, though, of potential teams coming open, we kind of been going on like a season by season basis to like evaluate where we are and where we're going and how long we're going to run. We are currently in season 3. Originally, our prediction, like when we first set out to do this, our goal was 3 seasons. At the beginning of this season, we were like, you know what? Let's do another, and we bumped it up to 4. And now we're at the point where, like, you know what? Let's do another. So once we wrap up this season, we are looking at 2 more seasons. So if everything goes smoothly, we are looking at a total of 5 seasons. It basically comes down to like how active the community is and people get in their games. And like, the truth of the matter is, every single advance, we're advancing early. But as we move into this next season, I believe there are going to be a couple owners that are going to be stepping away and like hanging it up for this cycle. So we will have a couple spots open at the end of this season, and I believe those spots may already be claimed by people on the waiting list. I think we've already reached out to some people. I don't know if we've filled all the spots, but I know we've already reached out to some of the people on the waiting list and like, yo, we're going to have this team at the end of the season. We want you in the league. You want the spot. So things are rolling. Things are moving. It is what it is. But let's shift gears a little bit, right? Let's shift gears a little bit. Shifting gears. Let's chat about like the gist of stuff going on in the league. Looking at Daddy Leagues here. Let's take a look at like some of the major points from Daddy Leagues. So, according to Daddy Leagues, the offensive player of the week was Benjamin Begelman's running back, Mitch Malone. 23 attempts, 241 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Absolutely ridiculous. 241 yards, 5 touchdowns. Beeman gets like a lot of people praise Beeman for like his air attack, right? We see him getting it done here another way. And like that's what he needs to do, because like Beeman, if you're listening, you probably don't want to listen. You should probably just click exit out, because you probably don't like what I have to say. I'm really starting to feel like Beeman might be overhyped. I'm really starting to feel like Beeman might be overrated. Okay, like I have a personal reason why I feel like that, but Beeman doesn't like me talking about that. If you've been around, you probably know what I'm saying, but Beeman doesn't like me talking about it, so I'm not going to talk about the time when I almost beat Beeman. We're not going to talk about that because Beeman doesn't like us talking about that. But if that did happen, I almost did beat him, it's because his offense was super predictable, and I did the same thing every time on defense, and that's just play over the top, and I think people are starting to figure that out. We had a game that was commentated by Snipes. I think it was last week. Snipes is absolutely amazing. If you're not following Snipes, go follow Snipes. The plan is, if everything works out smoothly, Snipes will be doing our Season 3 Super Bowl. So be on the lookout for that. However, Beeman was in the Snipes game that we had done. And Beeman got obliterated in the game. It wasn't even a game. Beeman made us look bad. Beeman, you made us look bad on Snipes TV. Come on, man. I'm playing. But like for real, like Beeman didn't look good. And like I feel like his issue was it's just too obvious. It's just too obvious. You knew what was coming, the deep ball, and the other guy just, I'll take that one, I'll take that one, I'll take that one. Just kept picking them off. It's exactly what I did when I almost beat him, if I almost beat him. But if I did, we're not going to talk about that because Beeman doesn't like me talking about that. So, yeah, Beeman, I really feel like is predictable, and I really feel like he's might be overrated. But if this wasn't the case, he would really need to like shift it up, change it up. And look at this guy, Mitch Malone, 23 attempts, 241 yards, 5 touchdowns. Is Beeman shifting it up, changing it up? In the end, these stats on this running back, good on you, Benjamin Begelman. Defensive player of the week, we have strong safety from the Kansas City Chiefs, the next Super Bowl champion, Micah Hyde. He had 3 tackles, 0 interceptions, 0 forced fumbles, but he did have 3 interceptions. So big day from Micah Hyde. Now the big thing that we have to look at from like the stuff that Daddy Leagues give us. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that game of the week. OC and his Bengals collide with Fun Guy and his Ravens collide with the defending world Super Bowl champions of the world, the Baltimore Ravens. Going into this game, the Ravens were 10-2, while the Bengals were 9-3. Now, this is a close game on paper, right? Close game, could go either way, but I mean, going into it, Fun Guy had the division lead, he had the better record, and he's defending world Super Bowl champion of the world. So you got to go with Chuck as like the guy you go with, right? Like the favorite. But look at that score. Not what happened. Not what happened at all. The score ended up being Bengals 38, Ravens 21. And I mentioned we had some highlights. We got the highlights of the game. So let's take a look at this. So starting this game off, right? Starting the game off, first drive of the game, Bengals milk away most of the first quarter from the 5-yard line. Joe Burrow, he drops back to pass and ends up rushing the ball in for a touchdown. Bengals on the board first. Ravens respond. They drive all the way down the field. Looks like he's setting up a forwards play. Lamar drops back. He exits the pocket. He goes to do what Burrow did. The Bengals defense, nope, rejected. The Bengals defense obliterate Lamar Jackson, scoop the ball up, which ends up setting up a scoring drive. And once they get the ball back, the scoring drive, Burrow drops back to pass, and he finds Tyler Boyd open deep. Boyd, like you would be like mistaking him for Tyreek Hill or John Ross out there. Nope, that's slow man Tyler Boyd. So next thing you know, out of nowhere, the game's 14-0. Ravens, though, not ready to kind of like hang up the hat, you know. The Ravens, they draw back to pass. Nope. Bengals defense, they pick that ball off. Pratt with a little jiggle, wiggle, wiggle right there, and he gets that ball in. Pick six, just like that. Bengals up 21-0. Late in the second quarter, though, Ravens end up getting on the board. Bengals respond. Only a few seconds left in the half. Put up a field goal. Halfway through the third quarter, though, the Ravens not ready to give up. Dobbins with the monster run from the 29-yard line takes it in. Bengals, they respond, drive the ball down the field, and in similar fashion, they hand the ball off, and the running back finds the end zone. Beautiful run. Ravens, not a lot of time left on the clock, but they're still at it. They find the tight end over the middle. Mark Andrews gets the ball in. Bengals, in similar fashion, they come back down, more imitation. They get the tight end over the middle. Your final in this game, Bengals, I believe it was Bengals 38, Ravens 21. GG's. GG's all around. You can't win them all. You can't win them all. That AFC North, it is ridiculous. The talent in that division, it is ridiculous. I made a case last week on the wire for them not to be the best division in the league, but I mean, come on. They're ridiculous. What Chuck has been able to do in that division these last 2 seasons has been incredible. But I mean, any game against, like, anytime you have any game against an AFC North team, like, it's not going to be easy. So, I mean, losses like that are going to happen. And, like, it was a really bad start for Chuck, right? Like, Bengals, they go up 21-0 pretty quick. So, like, that just controls the pace of the game. So, I mean, it is what it is. Looking ahead, though, looking ahead to next week. Looking ahead to next week, we have 2 games lined up to be featured on League Stream. Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have the Washington football team, Cobra and his Washington football team, colliding with True Talent and his Vikings. That game goes down 9 p.m. Eastern Wednesday over at twitch.tv/EliteCFM. And then the next night, Elite Fight Night, 2 nights back to back. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we have OC and his Bengals of the AFC North colliding with Malibu and his Steelers of the AFC North. Both of these are big games for obvious reasons. The Thursday night game, both of those 2 guys, Malibu and OC, they're neck to neck fighting for that division. In the playoff race, according to Daddy Leagues, the Steelers going into this week were the 7th seed and the Bengals were the 6th seed. So, and neither of those guys going into week 14 were the top team in the division. So, I mean, that's potentially 3 teams from the AFC North making the playoffs. And as for the Wednesday night game, 9 p.m. Eastern, the Washington football team and the Minnesota Vikings, Cobra Cobra and his Washington football team, they went into this week as the number 2 ranked team in the NFC, while the Vikings went into this week as the number 3 ranked NFC team. So that is going to be a ridiculous matchup in the NFC. And then Thursday night, that's a ridiculous matchup in the AFC North. So we have 2 absolutely huge games coming up Wednesday and Thursday, so incredibly excited for that. And then we also have, don't forget, Trash Talk Tuesday tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern with Freight. I believe he'll be doing that over on his Twitch channel, so definitely check that out. Always a blast. There's something I want to do, and I'm going to credit this to my very favorite owner in the league, the owner who hates media. That is Zell. We are going to title this as the segment of Zell. I'm not saying bad things, Zell. This is going to be good. You're going to like this. Last week when I did like comparing the divisions, Zell liked that, right? He's like, yo, Cincy, that was good. You should do more of that. And if Zell liked it, it must have been good. So we're going to do more of that. So we are going to take 2 divisions in Madden Elite, and we're going to compare them. And we're going to be like, okay, which of these 2 divisions do we think is better? And we're just going to go down the top teams. We're going to do, so for example, looking at Daddy Leagues here, we have the AFC East and the NFC East on top. So we'll just go down the list. We'll compare the top teams, the second top teams, the third top teams, and the bottom teams, and we'll see who comes out on top. Okay. And we're going to randomly determine which divisions we're looking at here. These are my dice. I use them for Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is a great game when we close up shop for the end of this cycle. Fun Guy and some other guys, Mex, they're going to play D&D with me. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. Zell's probably going to play D&D with me too. Yeah, but these are my dice, okay? And we are going to, this right here, this is called a D6. It's called, or not a D6, a D8. It's called a D8 because it has 8 sides. There are 8 divisions in the NFL. And we're going to use this to randomly determine which divisions we're looking at. My dog's in the background. They're trying to chat with us a little bit. So, and to kind of frame this a little bit, the AFC East will equate to number 1 on the dice roll, the West number 2, AFC North number 3, AFC South number 4, NFC East number 5, so on and so on. So the first of the 2 divisions we are looking at, that's an 8. So we are going to be comparing the NFC South to 6, the NFC West. Okay, so the NFC South and the NFC West. So the, okay, Zell, right? Oh my goodness, I just realized that Zell is the number 1 seed in the NFC West. Oh, this is gonna be, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Like, this isn't even gonna be close. Okay, actually, you know what? Actually, I think it might be closer than some people think. Okay, let's look at this. So, the NFC West, when you look at them on paper, right? So looking at them on paper, like the NFC West, they got Zell at 10-2, they got Beeman at 10-2, Terra Rob at 5-8, and then we got the Cardinals at 1-10. Okay. And then in the NFC South, we got the Panthers 7-6. We got the Saints 4-8, and then we got the Falcons 4-8, and we got the Bucks at 2-11. Oh, this is going to be fun, Zell. You're not going to like what I have to say. This is going to be fun. Okay, so first glance, right? Looking at those records, like based off the records, you're going with the NFC West, right? I'm not. I already know. We haven't even gone through the list yet, but I'm going with the NFC South. So, Zell and his Rams versus Jew and his Panthers. Listen, Jew is really good. However, like, I love you, Jew, but Zell, I'm gonna give this one to you. Like right now, this very moment, if Zell played Jew, I think Zell is pulling that one out. I think Zell is getting that win. So that is one win, the NFC West. So the second ranked teams in the NFC and the AFC. Oh, South, no. Why do you have to fall to number 3? Oh, South, you're killing me. It actually works out pretty well because based off this scenario, we get the scrub team of the NFC South, and at the second team, as the second seed, because the Saints is a scrub team in the NFC South. So Saints versus Beeman. Beeman is obliterating him. So Beeman gets on the board for the NFC West. So the NFC West, they got 2 wins here. Okay. However, I think this is going to equate out to a draw because the third team that we have for these 2 divisions, we got Terob and his 49ers and South and his Falcons. Like this isn't like Terob, you're cool and all. Like I like you, homie, but South is not what his division shows. When South is like, I don't think South is like invested. I think his investment has dropped. I don't know what's going on with South, but South is I would rank South definitely in the top 10 of the league. I would definitely rank South in the top 10 of the league. And when South is on, right? South is a top 5 guy. But I can't give him top 5 because like he hasn't like when it's mattered, he hasn't performed. But like he could beat Beeman any day of the week. He could beat Chuck any day of the week. South is amongst the best in the league. This one goes to the South. Goes to the NFC South with South. And then the final game, we have the Cardinals versus the Buccaneers. Cardinals is 1-10. Buccaneers, the new Buccaneers owner, has played 1 game so far and he lost. Powerhouse Gaming got obliterated last night. However, I think he's better than what he played last night, and he was just getting to know that horrible Buccaneers team with that horrible QB situation. And like I don't want to say anything bad about the Cardinals owner, right? But I think I could beat the Cardinals owner. So, and if it's someone that I think I can beat, then I'm going with Powerhouse Gaming in this. So Powerhouse Gaming. So when we kind of wrap this up, who's better, the NFC South or the NFC West? It's a wash. Beeman, Zell, you guys are good, but it's a wash. I'm sorry, but it's a wash. It is what it is. Your division just needs to get better. That's all there is to it. You guys need to step it up. Like, yeah, you guys have the first ever Super Bowl champion in your division, right? But I mean, that was like practically 2 seasons ago. Doesn't matter. Finally, one other thing. We got one other thing to look at, and we'll wrap this up. I want to make a plug, and that plug is for Julian. Julian is an absolute beast. He was the original Chargers owner for us. He stepped away, and he's just been helping with media. Legit, Julian has everything I have ever asked Julian to do, he has done. Julian is 110% reliable. Like, everyone talks about Freight and what Freight does for the league and like the contribution he has made to the league. But Julian is there anytime I need anything. And when it comes to helping with media, he basically runs our Fight Night streams for us every other week. He's an absolute beast. And he's got a few projects of himself, and I want to take a moment to plug this project he's got right here. Julian has a podcast that he's working with, Sports Freaks podcast. It looks like the channel has done some stuff in the past, but they are looking at kind of getting back into the flow of creating material and basically putting out coverage of like live sports stuff, like breaking news, pretty much. They put out a recent podcast 3 days ago, talking about different like draft picks movement and stuff, and I believe they have plans to cover a lot of stuff surrounding the draft, the IRL draft, as we get closer to that. So if you're interested in that thing, check out this podcast that he's got going on. There's also a Twitter, so check that out as well. Be sure to give Julian some love. Julian, he's an unsung hero of Madden Elite. Julian, if you're listening, I love you, man. Until next time, y'all. Peace.